What's up, Iron Horse family? This is Coach Josh here. You are listening to the CFIH podcast. I'm sitting down with Coach Candice and Coach Grant. We're going to talk to you about our previous cycle that we're finishing up and about the upcoming cycle, what to expect, also some announcements and little tidbits for you guys. First thing I want to talk about, though, is SummerSlam. We just finished that recently. It was such an amazing competition. We had the most participants that we've had yet to date, I think, in a competition and in an in-house. Lots of energy, tons of, what I'm trying to say, tons of people throwing down and giving it their all. It was really great to see. So thank you all that participated in that. Candice, what do you think about the SummerSlam? How'd it go?
Oh man, it was awesome. You were like doing most of the work. No, but like really, like the team that we have here is incredible. It was the smoothest competition we've had. It was the most energetic. I feel like everybody just brought so much energy and enthusiasm, ready to get after it.
Yeah.
Everybody cheering each other on. It was just different in a great way. And I think it was because we all kind of felt like we're coming out of COVID, like it was a sense of normalcy again.
Yeah.
It just, it felt so good to be back.
I think it was a really good community moment. Mm-hmm. Like everyone felt like back in the community, felt like kind of like old times. We were just here to cheer each other on. It was great. I loved it. All right, so moving on from that, let's talk about some announcements first. Candice.
Yeah, so we just wrapped up our tie-dye party. Whoop-whoop.
Yeah.
Lots of fun. But as we go into August, we're really going to think about that as our contribution month. We did this last year. It's just so good to give back outside of the walls of Iron Horse too. We're all about community first. That includes the surrounding area. So the first 2 weeks, we're going to have a back-to-school drive so we can help out these kiddos back here that need us. We're going to need some lunch boxes, some backpacks, some other items which we'll mention. So we'll form some teams. Team Coach Candice is going to bring the win. We're going to get the most items together.
Who won last year? Wasn't it? I think,
yeah.
Was it Jenny? Maybe. I don't remember.
I thought it was you.
Someone pulled ahead. I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, Ryan maybe. Anyways, but yes, it's fun. Great way to give back to the community. What else is coming up?
Yeah, and at the end of that 2-week period, we'll have our community clean up ruck. So we'll slap some weight vests on. You can go without if you want to. But we're going to make our way around in a ruck fashion, so carrying load and going and picking up trash in a local area. I know last time we did this, we had people coming out of their homes and saying thank you for doing that. So it just felt really good to give back. So we'll do that. And then at the end of the month, or towards the end of the month, on the 21st, Coach Grant's going to step in. We're going to have our CrossFit Total, so you guys will have an opportunity to max out your strict press, your back squat, and your deadlift. It'll be a lot of fun. And even in the entire month of August, we're going to do something different.
Okay.
So we're going to have a skill challenge. You as the member, or even a coach, like Coach Tanner I know is doing it, myself, I'm going to do it. You get to pick a skill that you want to work on for the month of August. You have a before picture or video depending on what it is you're working on. And then at the end of the month, you'll have an after so you can show your progress. And of course, as coaches, we're going to step in and give you guys some guidance if you need. I'm going to be working on a human flagpole. He's working on a pancake stretch. You can pick whatever you want. You're doing handstand hold. We're just going to make it a little bit more fun and try something new and just see how it goes. So I think it'll be a good challenge for all of us that want to participate.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Grant, can you think of one that you'd want to do?
Front rack mobility.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
that's great.
Candice giggles like she knows exactly what I'm talking about right now.
That's awesome.
Front rack mobility.
All right, well, Coach Grant, this next question is for you. So I want you to tell us a little bit about the cycle that we just finished, how you think it went, what we saw coming out of it.
Obviously, it's been pretty strength focused here for the last couple cycles, including this most prior cycle. But I think, just like the other ones, we're trending up, all right? I think a lot of people's strength numbers are starting to go up, and not just the numbers going up, but being consistent at those numbers as well. From what I at least see on Beyond the Whiteboard, and those who post on the board inside, sorry, I had to plug that. I'm just seeing numbers go up, and that's what we want. That's what we want to see. Not just on the days where we're building to a tough load, but the days where we're maybe working more like a moderate to moderately tough load. I've had a lot of people come up to me and say, yeah, I'm definitely feeling like way more consistent. I'm feeling way stronger. I feel like I'm recovering better because we're being consistent on hitting those strength days. So,
I mean, I personally have noticed that in myself, so appreciate it. Candice, same question.
I think everything's right on path. I think I'll touch in on the other end of the spectrum because I know there's some people that are struggling and, it's summer. We got to have fun. We got to have balance. It's really common to go traveling this time of year for attendance to drop off a little bit. It's okay. Just get back on path when you're back in the swing of things. And even if you don't know where you are, we'll talk a little bit more about this later, but just, find out what your baseline numbers are now so that you have something, you have a starting point to build off of. If you know where you are, where you want to go, you're going to have a lot more success in that, having that starting point. So.
And touching on that, I think it's really great that we offer the tracks that we do. I know a lot of gyms will just have like RX and scaled. I think it's awesome that we have our Stallions, Colts, and Mustangs track, so that if you're in here 5 days a week, great, and you go away for a week even, you can't just jump right back into it.
Yeah.
It's important to let your body readjust
Absolutely.
to coming back to the workout. So I think it's great that we have these options to say, okay, I can't hit X, Y, and Z today, summon up all that Mustangs track or that Colts track to get myself back into it. So it's awesome that we offer that. So let's talk about the cycle that we're about to start. What should we expect from that? Grant.
We're going to see some varying rep schemes on the strength. We've been doing a lot of like 3x2 or 3x3, but we're going to change it up just a little bit. We're going to make our strength days more focused on the strength, and then follow with some shorter workouts. So for example, coming up, we've got like a set of 5 reps, set of 1 rep, set of 5 reps, set of 1 rep, and then kind of going back and forth between the two, where on our cross days, you'll pick like a moderate weight for the sets of 5, and then for those singles, you'll pick maybe a tougher load for those sets of 1, and kind of going back and forth between those weights, just to kind of throw a little curveball in there, keep it fun, keep it varied, but still really focusing on the strength.
Awesome. Candice, you have any input on that?
I think we're doing exactly what we need to. It's always exciting to roll into a CrossFit Total, so we're getting you guys set for that. A little bit of booty gains and stuff with that.
I feel like there's been a lot of booty gains lately. A lot of booty gains.
Definitely feeling it too, Grant.
Those pistols got me for a few days. Really quickly, for those of us who might not know, Candice, will you elaborate on the CrossFit Total, exactly what it is?
Yeah, so CrossFit Total, technically it comes from the weightlifting world. It's a 1 rep max strict press, which I mentioned, back squat and deadlift, and really how you're supposed to do it is you get 3 attempts. Okay. You're supposed to declare those attempts, and then you total your best from those. So the first one is always something you know you can hit. The second one's like, I think I can hit that. I feel pretty good. The last one's like, I don't know, but I'm going to go for it, baby, right? It's a PR in the making or in the works. And then you tally them up for your total. Typically what happens, though, with CrossFitters is we hit that third one, and we're like, oh, there's more in there. I'm going to go for it. And then you keep PRing after that, which is awesome. We love it. We get fired up. That's why we're doing an hour and a half for it. So it's not uncommon to at least hit the total, and then to keep going up from there if you feel good about it, right? So we're not going to say, no, you can't do that. We want you guys to have fun and enjoy it and experience it how it should be, but also how CrossFitters do it as well.
Always changing a little bit, right? And that's going to be an hour and a half class on the 21st, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Awesome, great. We also are going to have kind of a lifting meet after that. Is that correct? After the CrossFit Total?
Yeah, so Coach Grant's going to get you guys more prepared with full snatches and clean and jerks. Now that we have that really strong base, it's time to make it a little bit faster movement, those dynamic movements, right? And at the end of that, we'll do something we haven't done before. We'll have actually a weightlifting meet here. It'll be CrossFit weightlifting meet, so it's always different, right? You don't have to wear leotards and like that.
Unless you want to. I'm a fan of them.
Unless you want to.
Yeah, optional. Leotards are optional, right?
But yeah, why not? We'll just have fun. We've never done it. I know Coach Cherry's geared up for it too, so it'll be a blast, just like anything else we do here. So
awesome. And mention that Barbell Club just finished recently. It seemed to go really well. I saw some of the numbers from the members that were doing it from their before to after, and their increase on all their lifts was awesome to see. I know it also helped with confidence alone, which is a great thing. So
I saw a lot of technique.
Yeah.
Technique. I think for me, the numbers are one thing, but the technique. There are some people who I would have in class, and then I have them in class 4 weeks later just based off of my schedule. Like, man, your snatch positioning is night and day.
So shout out to Coach Cherry for helping with that. And should we expect another cycle of Barbell Club potentially coming within the fall?
I believe he's able to do it. I don't want to quote him on that.
Okay.
He's trying to figure out his work schedule, but that's the goal.
Okay, that's the goal.
Yep.
Awesome. So we did reach out to Instagram to see if some of the members had some questions, and we got a few back. One of them was, do we have any plans to potentially implement some gymnastics skill work in the workout? So for instance, we have our lifting skill work recently with the EMOMs or the weightlifting strength portions. Do we kind of have any gymnastics skill work that might be coming out with these next cycles?
Yeah, absolutely. We've like I mentioned a little earlier, we've obviously been doing a lot of just core strength work, a lot of back squats and deadlifts and shoulder press. Kind of coming out of COVID, that was the goal between Candice and I, was just to kind of get everyone back on the same page, kind of lifting and building that base strength up. But our goal was around the I guess I wouldn't say fall. It's Texas, so it's kind of an extension. It's an extension of
November.
summer. Yeah, right. But I'm at that time period, kind of after the CrossFit Total, kind of focusing more on some strict gymnastics, some skill work, maybe some Olympic weightlifting. We kind of just touched on that as well. That doesn't mean that we're not going to sprinkle in some stuff over the next 4 weeks to kind of get you prepared for it. But the mindset will change into more of a gymnastic skill work as far as EMOMs go, as far as like maybe just dedicated 10 minutes of working on a skill. I have been kind of drawing up some things on that already. So just kind of be on the lookout for that as we get near.
Yeah, that's exciting. I think the real takeaway with all of this is that it's all planned, right?
Yes.
So everything is kind of planned. You guys don't just go into it thinking, well, throw this at them today. Like there's a set plan.
Yes.
And for those of you who don't know, Grant now is mostly in charge of programming. Candice is helping, but it's transitioned from Candice doing it. She's handed the reins off to Grant. So if you've noticed some changes, some of that's because Grant's now in charge of it. Candice is still, of course, kind of mentoring it and monitoring it. So some feedback was people were missing those team workouts. And, you know, since you are so community-based, on Saturdays we used to do a lot of team workouts, partners and teams of 3. Do we anticipate those coming back anytime soon?
Yes, and like very soon, like this next week.
Okay.
You know, COVID kind of made it a little difficult to kind of do some team workouts. We have been going about every other week, I think, for a little while. As far as like using the same equipment or doing, you know, things like wall balls would be very difficult, like, you know, on a team. But now we've got those wall ball targets.
Yeah.
So if you haven't noticed more wall balls in workouts recently, but yeah, and this is kind of something that, you know, maybe I've kind of lacked on the last couple of weeks as well, kind of more individual Saturday workouts. But we're going to be doing more team workouts, specifically in those community classes, the 10 o'clock ones.
Right.
A lot of teams of 2, teams of 3, maybe some teams of 4, and just kind of keeping them fun and different and awkward and weird and CrossFit-y.
Yeah, I say bring on the weird, of course. But Candice, do you want to touch on anything that's kind of changing with the gym as far as like pre-COVID, now we're kind of back to it?
Yeah, I mean, you guys are seeing a lot of it. We're not as, hey, you got to spread out. You know, we're sharing more equipment. We're bringing it into the whiteboard. He's giving us the heart, Coach Tanner.
Yeah.
We're really trying to baby step our way back, and we're like right on the cusp of being back to normal with some additional stuff that we're really working hard on. So we're trying to open up a new run path so that there's 2. David Yale's like, if you guys don't know David, he's a member here. He's a badass. He's so cool.
Yeah.
He's helping us try to, you know, engineer the flooring with a retape. So we still have these boxes that we're working out of, but it pulls away from the rig, so there's a lot more flexibility. Everybody has their own space. There's multiple run lanes. You know, we've got some more equipment. We're really trying to make some big strides to improve the gym as much as possible. But to bring it back to normal, we're finally there. We felt it in SummerSlam, but we're making it like this is concrete, guys. We're back. We're not just back. We're better than we were as where we're headed. Yeah. So really excited about it.
Well, one of the biggest things I think is like the whiteboard's changed. We're now to like the whiteboard before COVID against the wall, which I know for a lot of members was like, what is happening? And for those members who are new and joined us after COVID, they've never experienced that. So for them, they're like, I keep looking for the whiteboard to see what the workout is, and I don't know where it's at now.
Yeah.
But, so we're bringing you back to like Iron Horse's old ways of being against that wall, which that's fun. So.
Yeah. Well, and crossing paths more. I mean, we haven't done ring muscle-ups in a while on handstand push-ups because of all these limitations, and you know, we're bringing that stuff back in. We know it's craved, it's desired by some of us, and you know, I haven't done a muscle-up in a while. I'd be excited to do one too.
Yeah.
But we're coming out of COVID. We're excited to get back to the swing of things and to truly high five and fist bump. And as coaches, man, I don't know about y'all, but like being able to be hands-on with someone, we're like excellent coaches just being verbal and like showing visually, but now we get to put our hands back on you guys and like really help you as coaches should, right? So a lot of great stuff coming. I'm really excited about it.
Awesome.
But I geek out about this stuff, so.
Well, yeah, it's been, I've implemented that a little bit, and it's definitely helps. It's it's more fun, be more engaging, so yeah, it's great. Grant, any final thoughts?
I just keep at it. You know, we've only got 4 more weeks of just our core strength program, and then we're going to really just throw a big change up into what we're doing. So I know we've been doing this for 12 to 16 weeks now. It's been a little while. Just know that the end is in sight. Just know, you know, what your goals were when we started this months ago. We're only 4 weeks away from you really trying to reach those goals. So just keep after it, be consistent, keep hitting those strength days, keep focusing on your recovery, your nutrition, and all the fun stuff. So.
And I'm glad you brought that up. Make sure you have goals.
Yeah.
Not like, they don't have to be elaborate, but something we talk about in the Driven workshop is like, I don't know about you guys, but I'll have a goal, or I used to in the past, so I'd have a goal, and I'm like, I'm gonna start the week on the right foot, and then like the week passes, I was like, what was I working on? I forgot. So put it up on your mirror or something, like write it with like Sharpie marker, whatever you wanna do, but just make sure it's not permanent, right? Put it up there so every morning you're brushing your teeth, you reflect on what you wanna do, right? I wanna make sure that by the end of this cycle, I at least put 5 pounds on my deadlift or my back squat, or hey, I actually got back up on the rings and I did some tap swings. I got some before images of what I'm doing so that I can reflect at the end of August when I'm working on my muscle up skill or whatever it is, that it did in fact get better. You gotta know where you are, set the tone, make sure you put it up, we don't forget it, and let's get after it and have some fun.
And one last thing, speaking of, putting it out there and making sure you can see it, we have had this conversation before, how important it is to log your workouts and your times, especially your weights or your baseline. Can either one of you kind of expand on that and why it's so important?
Sure, I'll take this one. So, whether you use Beyond the Whiteboard, or I know Candice and I are pretty...
Blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah, blood, sweat, and tears, putting it on a notebook, it holds me more accountable. Whatever holds you more accountable, logging your scores, but not just logging like what weight you did, what your time was, how you felt.
Right.
What type of sleep did you get the night before? How did you approach the workouts? Maybe if it's like a Fran, or 2015 out of thrusters and pull-ups, how did you break it up? Were you able to hold on to like the rep scheme you wanted to hold on to? What went right? What went wrong? So many variables that go into just one training session. If you got 2 hours of sleep the night before, or if you got 9 hours of sleep the night before, you could feel good or bad, but you don't know these things unless you log it, you write it down. Again, whether it's the app or the journal, and just kind of being able to refer back to it, like, oh man, I only lifted this much. Oh, I only slept for this much.
Yeah.
I feel a lot better today. Maybe that's why I was able to train a little harder, push a little harder, things like that. But a lot of us have been doing this for a long time, and the one of the biggest keys to success outside of nutrition and sleep is logging your scores, logging your information, and just keeping track of it.
Yeah.
Have you been logging how long that mustache has been getting?
4 months.
She's been waiting for that. I feel like she's been
4
waiting
months
for that
almost to the
joke.
day.
2 inches, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I do think also on the other side, that the mental side of like logging is super important, because I know for myself, I'll go into a workout, and Candice and I kind of had this conversation Friday after the pistol workout, that she was like, would you have gotten this far a year ago? Would you have gotten this far 2 years ago? Well, if I'm not logging, I don't know. And it's so easy to beat yourself up because you're like, well, today was a bad session, but how was it a year ago? How was it last week? So it's great to just kind of, for your mental self too, to kind of know where you're at, where you're going. So
And give yourself grace.
Yes.
I mean, I talk to Coach Megan about this all the time, because she's kind of like, if you guys don't know, I used to compete. Coach Megan is passionate as hell about competing too. It's like she's stepping in to where I used to be, so I'm trying to guide her and help her. And we always have these conversations. It always comes up like, you're gonna have more bad days than good. That's part of it. That's normal. But think about what you're doing compared to the average populace.
yeah,
Like, we're CrossFitters. We're not normal. Like, we're uncomfortable all the time, as we should be. That's what really sets us apart. And like, as long as you're getting uncomfortable consistently and you're not too concerned about all the stuff that you could have done better, like focusing on what you did do, like, man, it's just so much more empowering to reflect on that. And like, just remember, like, we're all getting after it. We're all stepping outside our comfort zone on a daily basis. You walking through the door is harder than most people. It's a hard task for most people to even accomplish. Walking through that door. So give yourself some grace, give yourself some credit, even for the small things, and celebrate those small things and those big wins too.
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you both so much for being here, taking your time, and we'll see you in the gym.